What's good, squad?
Pull up in a drop top.
We're going to go in here in a minute. Can you guys hear this music? What's good? UN Old C, Supreme Fatty. What's good, gents? How we doing? I'm absolutely dripping sweat right now. Just got back from the gym. Drenched. Absolutely drenched. We're going to be counting our guap after today's MLB slate. That's for sure. I know my forehead looks like Trent's. It's soaking wet. I'm absolutely drenched in sweat. Got back from the gym, took an Adderall, drank my coffee. I'm sweating buckets. We got my guy, Austin Gauthier, in the queue. He's about to be coming in hot. He's geeking at me right now in the background. But we've got a professional baseball player coming on here to talk some baseball. I'm stoked. Really excited. But before we go in here, I want to give a breakdown of yesterday. My bet sucked. But no bet talk when we got my guy Austin up here. Just strictly baseball talk. Super stoked to pick his brain on the life of, minor league baseball player. I'm really excited. I need to send this link out to people so they can join the stream. But I'm really stoked to kind of pick his brain. He's doing, what I literally dreamed of doing growing up, but just wasn't good enough. Not even fucking close. So really excited to see what's good with what he's doing. He's on the Dodgers. It's pretty cool. I'm really excited. I'm going to bring him in here in a sec. I want to get the crowd up a little bit more first before we start it off, though. Super stoked. We're going to talk MLB. We're going to talk minors with my guy, Austin, and then we're going to pivot about halfway through, and then we're going to talk the MLB card today. But let me bring my guy, Austin, in. The dude's had a heck of a first season. Went to Hofstra, absolutely raked the baseball in college, and then got signed to the Los Angeles Dodgers, and he's in the minors right now. I don't want to spoil everything, but he's got some pretty cool stories. I am really, really excited to bring my mans in here. Let's get down to business. I know you guys, everyone in here likes baseball, so everyone's excited to see what's good. Austin, what's going on, my man?
How we doing, baby? How we doing?
How we doing? What are you up to, my man? You got a busy week this week? I'm sure you got probably like at least 4 or 5 games, right?
Yeah, so we play every day. We're 6 days a week. We get Mondays off, so That's kind of nice. It's kind of a little routine. But yeah, we just got back from Fresno 2 nights ago. Northern Cali, played the Rockies.
Okay.
We didn't play that well. We didn't play that well this week. We kind of got our asses handed to us. But we're back in Rancho Cucamonga, so it's going to be home. It's going to be a good home series.
So for someone who's never been to California before, where is that in Cali?
Yeah, so it's like 45 minutes east of LA.
Okay, so that's not too shabby, huh?
Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. Yet to make
awesome,
my way over there.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm super stoked. I'm excited for you, man. I know you absolutely raked the baseball in college, got picked up, and you've been doing some good stuff in the minors here too. Are you in low A or high A?
Low A with the Quakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the Quakes.
Yeah.
Awesome, my man. Awesome. Your first year, I mean, you've already had some pretty cool stuff. You faced Blake Snell. Is that true?
I did.
Okay.
And Baez. He's also with the Padres, I believe.
Okay. Very cool.
That was very cool facing them.
Do you have any success? Cool. I know Snell's a nasty lefty. You're right-handed though, right? You play shortstop?
Right-handed, play middle infield, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to face Snell a couple times. I think it was twice.
Okay.
When you're facing guys like that, I feel like the one thing is just take advantage of the moment. Try and put a good swing on it. And luckily for me, it just got to the ball, barreled it up a little bit, and went to right center. So, I mean,
it was
a special moment.
Now.
Yes. Yeah, it was special.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Just try to put a good swing on it.
If I would have told you last year you'd be getting base hits off of Blake Snell, you probably would have asked what I'm smoking.
Yeah, I would. I'd be like, you're crazy.
Absurd. That's absolutely absurd, dude. That's so sick. Are you guys like bunked up? Are you living with a couple teammates? Like, what are you guys doing? I mean, you guys are on the road most of the time. Are you in like hotels? You have like an apartment? Like, what's good with that?
So the minor league's paying for housing this year, or so every team's paying for housing this year. So we don't have to pay for it like they did in the past. Okay. But so yeah, we're in an apartment complex actually. Every team's different. Our whole team's in an apartment complex, living with four or five guys.
Okay.
So it's kind of just like a college house, I guess you could say. I mean, if I could give them a clear picture. So it's just like a college house, like if you're on a baseball team.
Messing around, having a good time. I mean, you're obviously getting your shit done, right? But it's good to have some other boys to hang out with, right? I feel like it's pretty fun.
100%. I mean, we're all getting close. Yeah, we're here for probably 10 hours a day. I mean, we're only here when we're sleeping. So
right.
The rest of the day we're at the field.
They keep you guys busy, man. Gosh. So you're like what, a couple minutes from the field? You drive up there pretty much every day. I want to know like a typical day in the life of a minor league baseball player. Give me like your normal weekday. It could be a game day, whatever it is. I want to know like what you go through because it's a lot. And I don't think people know like how much goes into it. I mean, you're a professional athlete. You might not be on the fucking LA Dodgers, but you're a professional athlete. You know, you're putting in your time and probably grinding, honestly, even more than some of those guys already up there. So what's like a typical day for you in the minors?
Yeah. So I wake up. I usually go on a walk or something just to get the mindfulness. Yeah, get loose.
Sure.
Get the blood flowing a little bit. And then I'll pick up some breakfast and then go to the field. I'll hit the cold tub in the morning. After the cold tub, I'll go work out. We work out probably 6 times a week, like just minor exercises. So after I work out, we'll go to the cage for early work, go in the field for defensive work, early work.
Okay.
And then what's it from there? And then stretch. Then stretch starts for the whole team.
Okay.
And after stretch, we take a team defense. And then after team defense, we do BP. And then after BP, we go eat, get a little snack in us before the game, and then the game starts at 6:30 to like 10.
Okay, probably drinking some protein shakes while I'm making one right now, like a doofus on video.
Gotta
do what you gotta do out here, man. It's tough.
It's a
tough
grind.
out here.
It's a grind. Yeah, and then home and then sleep.
Think you spend like half the time doing defensive drills compared to offense, or because I feel like people picture baseball practice and they just picture people hitting, BP. Right, or trying to hit bombs, but I feel like people don't understand. You're probably doing honestly just as much defensive work and fielding drills than you are offensive.
Oh, for sure. I mean, especially like the Dodgers, we kind of take pride in doing the little things right. So we're doing base running drills, like we're doing everything that people don't even really consider like a big deal in baseball. Right. So, yeah, I mean. It'd probably be the same. Yeah, I'd say the same. I mean, everyone wants to do hitting. Everyone wants to hit because it's just the glorious thing in baseball. But, yeah, it's the small things with defense and base running that I think, work on more than any other organization.
100%. I mean, it's the Dodgers, right? You're on a historic franchise, probably the best MLB team I've ever seen assembled right now with the LA Dodgers, what they got going on up there. It's absolutely insane. Have you gotten to, hang out with any of the guys or meet any of them, like at any camps or anything? Or like is there anyone we'd know like on your team, any like super high prospects, or like who's the coolest dude you've ran into just in general?
Like throughout the whole Dodgers organization?
The whole thing.
If I had to pick one?
Have you gotten to hang out with like Bellinger? Have you gotten to hang out with any like the actual guys up there?
So during spring training, the minor league guys would go over to the major league side because it's like split up. In Arizona, and so we'd go over there and base run for them while they would do cuts and relays. And so I got to like see Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, all those guys in person. And it's just like you look at him and you're just like, wow, you're real. You're a real person.
Real person.
So
I mean, it's absolutely absurd. You see these guys on TV and they look like guys out there, but then you see, like, I go to a baseball game, I see these dudes in person, they're ginormous. They don't even look like real people. Like Freddie Freeman, he's a freaking unit. These guys they're ginormous. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
When he first got signed with the Dodgers, spring training was nuts. The amount of people that were over on the Dodgers side was unreal. And like he's ginormous. He's ginormous in person. So
are his teeth as shiny and white as they look on TV now? Because he's got some pearly whites, man. Holy smokes.
He takes care of those things for sure. He takes care of those things.
Unbelievable. And if people are asking in the chat like how we know each other, so I know Austin through my roommate. My roommate and him played baseball growing up in Virginia, so that's how I met Austin. We've had a couple beers together. Pretty cool. Not too many though. He's being good, but yeah, that's how we've kind of known each other. And we've been following you a little bit. I mean, my roommate Matt Robb has been following you way more than I have, but you've been doing well, man. You've been killing it. I want to gas you up a little bit. I know you had a walk-off the other day, a walk-off home run, and I'm going to try to play this janky video you sent me of the walk-off. I got to show the people though. Let me see what I got here. You can see the screen, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Probably barely, but you can see it. Oh, fuck. This might be the worst depiction ever. Here we go. Just an absolute nuke off of a lefty. Walk-off bomb. Umpire showing some serious hustle sprinting out there. I don't know why he's running. But very cool. And then you get to see the boys come out and celebrate. I mean, that's got to be your highlight of the year so far, obviously, right? Walk-off bomb. Give me a break.
For sure, man. I mean, we got a bunch
absolutely
of special players.
Look at that shit. That's awesome. Absolutely electric. Absolutely electric. Have you been – are there any guys on your team you watch play and you're like, holy smokes, this guy's about to be called up in a year or two? This guy's just an absolute freak of nature.
Our entire just roster is just full of dudes.
Stacked, right?
Yeah, our number one prospect's playing with us right now, Diego Cortaya, and he's a big leaguer. Okay. There's like 7 or 8 guys who are just like, he's going to be a big leaguer. Like we have a really special group.
Also, I'm not saying you're not going to be a big leaguer. I think you definitely can be, but you know what I mean. These guys who you look at them, you're like, this guy's about to be called up to like next year. You know what I mean?
100%. These
guys are just different.
Tools, yeah, they're tools. They're just they're God gift. Like they just got it. You know what I mean?
100%.
So it's really cool to see.
For sure. So the Dodgers are paying for your guys' housing now. It's been a big topic, over the last couple of years, how the minor leaguers don't get paid enough. I'm not going to ask you how much you get paid or whatever on here, but are they taking care of you guys better now? Like, I know there was a lot of talk about it. Are you guys doing all right? Do you think it's bogus? Because I know you're putting in 10-hour days every day, absolutely grinding. Do you think it's bogus? Do you think the minor leaguers deserve more respect for the work you're putting in? Are they starting to take care of you guys better? Like, how are you guys doing in that sense? Are you guys bitching about it?
I'll try to answer this as truthfully as I can.
Please.
We're not even. Look, we're working our asses off, and I understand 100%. The pay and all that, but I don't even think we're making like $30K a year.
Right.
So it's
ridiculous.
But again, we're doing it because we love it. For
sure.
I'm not really doing it for the money right now. You know what I mean? Like you just gotta work your way up the ladder, and so it's kind of just you just got to work for it. I mean, at the end of the day, you do. It doesn't matter about the pay or anything. So
I don't think people understand. I don't think people understand like how. Like it's not like you're putting in 10, 12-hour days, absolutely grinding out there, and you're playing a physical sport. It's not like you're sitting at a desk all day, and they're not paying you guys nearly as much. And I've been a huge advocate of this over the past couple of years. You're paying these guys up in the minors or in the majors who don't even play millions of dollars. You got to take care of the guys below. Baseball is a sport. It's probably the hardest sport to get to the majors, right? There's so many ladders you got to climb, right? Like you just said, it's an absolute grind out there. I wish they'd take care of you guys more. Hopefully down the line, that's something that they do. But it's tough, man. But like you said, you're playing for, the love of the game and the grind. I mean, I'm sure, you're doing okay out there. You're living out in LA, right? It could be worse.
It could be worse.
Very cool.
It could always
very
be
cool.
worse.
But yeah, no, they need more. They need to respect you guys a little bit more, in my opinion.
I will say this though, the Dodgers, I mean, they pay for our food and like they pay for our housing. They pay the Dodgers. If it wasn't for the Dodgers, man, I mean, I've heard some stories.
They've been good to you guys.
Very, very good. They're probably the top of the list that take care of us, and that's why they win. That's why, I mean, everyone wants to be a Dodger. So
it starts at the bottom. Straight up, you take care of your guys at the bottom. There's a reason that organization's been so good for the last 40, 50 years. It starts. It's a whole organizational thing. Everyone knows that the culture out there in LA is unbelievable. It's top notch, and that's why they're the best. You're in a great position. I mean, I wish you were in the Nats organization. That'd be pretty darn cool. We could come see you play, obviously. But I mean, I'd say that's probably the second coolest team you could probably go to is be out there in LA playing for the Dodgers. Yeah. I think it's absolutely incredible. And hats off, man. It's an absolute grind. I mean, it's something that, growing up, I wish I could have done. Wasn't nearly, not even close to being as good. So you're living the dream. I'm living vicariously through you and some other guys. I think it's absolutely incredible. It's an absolute grind. It's an absolute grind.
For sure. Love it. Love it for sure.
Yeah, man. Do they give you guys weekends off? Are you guys traveling, playing on the weekends pretty much? Just Mondays, right? Just Mondays.
So, yeah, we're playing every day except Mondays. And usually some Mondays are travel days. So, like at 11 a.m. we get on the bus and for like 5, 6 hours. So.
And they're bussing you guys around. You're not taking planes.
Bussing us around. Yeah, the Cali League, the travel's not bad at all. I mean, it's up to Northern Cali and then we're as south as all the teams go, so it's not that bad.
Okay. So you're just playing teams in California, right?
Yeah, it's like
the travel is not ridiculous, but
no, not at all.
How many teams are in your division? Are those the only teams you play pretty much all season? The teams in your division?
Yeah, so there's 2 divisions. There's 4 teams in each division. There's a northern division and a southern division.
Okay.
So small. It's small, but.
Is there a playoffs down the line? I honestly don't even know how it works, and I'm very curious, and I know everyone in the chat's probably pretty curious too.
Yeah, there's playoffs. We're only like 40 games in out of 130, so that's going to be – yeah, that's –
They got you guys playing like a full season.
Yeah, September is probably when that rolls around.
Okay.
It's going to start getting hot out here, man. Dog days are coming.
Goodness gracious. It's hot over here. I can't even imagine. Gosh, man.
Yeah.
It's an absolute grind.
Love it though. Love it.
Have to, right? Gosh, absolutely have to. What's the what do you think is the coolest, story or moment you've had, this season or just playing out there in general? Was it the walk off? Was it getting the hit off of Snell? Is it just being, getting signed by the Dodgers and just taking a breath and being like, damn, all the work I put in over the last couple of years is finally worth it? What has it been for you?
Those are all really special. Those are really special to me in their own individual way. But just like talking to the older guys in AA, AAA, just getting advice from them and just learning their mindsets and how they go about their business is probably just all around the best moment for me. Like I was talking to Michael Bush, he's like the number 3 prospect in our organization, and Andy Burns, who's in AAA right now. And they're just saying how the game's changing now. It's all analytics. And during our games, there's this thing called TrackMan it's a analytical software that calls strikes and balls. So if the umpire messes up and he calls it a strike, but it was a ball, that is graded on our part, if that makes sense. Okay.
So you guys will go back. If you get rung up on a terrible call, you'll go back after the game and almost watch film. Or be like, that wasn't even a strikeout. Like, you won't even count that as a strikeout, that type of thing?
Yeah, there's a percentage that it gives the strike call. So say it was terrible. Let's say it was 5 inches off. That would go down as a 15% strike call. Okay. So that gets graded on our part. Okay, he's not chasing these pitches, right? So talking to them, they're just the game is changing now. They don't even really care about average as much. Okay. In the minor leagues, they want to see you swinging at strikes and laying off balls and hitting balls hard that are in the zone. So that was kind of special.
They're looking at hard hit rate and stuff like that. They're looking at advanced analytics, the same stuff that I'm looking at when I'm freaking looking at bets and games. Yes. You guys are looking at the same stuff, advanced stats. It's incredible how where the game has come, right? Baseball is so analytical now, like you said.
It's insane. Some of these people are talking to me about these analytics. I'm like, dude, I don't even know what you're saying. Dumb it down for me. Like, what are we talking about? And
100%.
Yeah, it's crazy
100%.
how the game is changing. But that kind of just like off that, like that just it's a mindset of just like, okay, we're not going to worry about the average. We're going to control what we can control in the box, swing at strikes, lay off balls, and that honestly like kind of makes the game easier if you think about it. Like you're not putting as much pressure on yourself.
For sure. I mean, you guys are grading the stuff that matters, right? If you hit a fucking line drive in the hole and the shortstop makes a diving catch, and that's a hit 99% of the time, you should be graded for that almost being like a hit, right? Because nine times out of 10 it is. So I think that's smart, especially at that level. And I'm sure, grading, if you get rung up on a terrible call, which I'm sure happens all the time because the freaking umpires in the major leagues mess up calls all the time. I can't even imagine how bad the umpires are in the minors. I'm sure you guys got your own Angel Hernandez's down there too. It's still baseball, right? Umpires are terrible. Either way you slice it up. Are you a robot ump guy? Or are you a real old school ump guy? What do you think?
It's a great question. I know the game is going to start changing into the robot ump, I think next year for minor leaguers. So
okay. Is that confirmed?
Not confirmed. That's just where I think it's going. Like,
yeah, I think it is too. 100%.
I don't know, man. That's a tough question. Like, so I'll give you this. So say like a guy throws a 87-mile-per-hour curveball and the catcher like reaches for it like this, but it gets the zone by that much. Like that's a strike with a robot umpire. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's those pitches I'm worried about.
Yeah. I mean, if they bring you up on the nastiest slider ever that nips the zone and it's a strike, you got to just charge it to the game. I guess he got you. Yeah. But I'm with you though. It goes both ways, right? It goes both ways.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know, man. That's a tough question.
I'm like kind of in the middle. I kind of like having the umpire back there because it's a part of the game, right? I think it's electric when you get a play at home and the umpire's like, you're out of here, and they get a little too involved and too excited thinking they're actually part of the game, whatever. I think it's cool. I think I would like having the umpire there, but having the calls made upstairs and having it like rung into like the AirPod type thing, but it's still a guy back there, calling balls and strikes, so it still looks organic. I'd be okay with that. I'm not cool with having like nothing back there and just having like the tally come up on the TV. I think that'd be a little weird. And baseball is a game of tradition, right? It's America's pastime, so you need something.
100%.
But they got to figure out something in the middle. I mean, I'm watching Angel Hernandez. Looks like he's calling balls and strikes with a blindfold on. Something's got to give. It's 2022, but you got to keep it a little bit organic and traditional because it is baseball, right?
Yeah, so I think the umpire will still be back there, but he'll just he'll have an earpiece in and be like, yo, that was a strike. Okay.
So that's what they're planning on probably doing anyways.
I'm pretty sure,
they were tinkering around with that. I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago at some point in some sort of league. It might have been independent ball. I don't even know. But they've tried it before, and I think it was working. So I'm curious to see where that goes. But I also got to ask about another conspiracy I have. It's not even really a conspiracy at this point because everyone's talking about it. It's these dang baseballs. Everyone's talking about how these baseballs stink, the dead balls. Where's your head at with these? Have you guys noticed this? Are you guys using the same balls as the major leaguers? Have you noticed the inconsistencies and differences in the balls? Do you think they're different this year? What do you think?
So I know for a fact the major leagues use different baseballs. We've had some major league guys come pitch for us, like Tommy Conley. I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
He played for the Yankees. Yep. He came down. They bring their own balls.
They bring their own baseballs with them.
Yeah, major league balls. They're just different. There's some, So I've heard from multiple people that when you go up to the major leagues that like all you gotta do is just touch it and the ball will just fly.
Right.
I know once you get to AAA is when the balls start changing. I know from low A to double A, I believe they're the same. Like I don't know what it is they put in the baseballs, but I just know when you get to AAA.
So they've been changing. So I am a first team all conspiracy with these baseballs. I've been talking about it for 2 weeks. So if I get taken out, I say this every time I talk about it. If I get taken out, it's Rob Manfred. He did it. So if everyone knows, you guys are watching, it's him. But so it's the cork. They keep changing the cork inside the baseball. So they got the cork, right? And then they got all those freaking strings. And then the leather could have an effect. And then the seams. Like a couple years ago, they changed the distributor for the seams. And it completely messed up the baseballs. So even the smallest change, even just changing the material that they use for the seams, like they did a couple years ago when all the pitchers got blisters and they were all bitching about the balls, like even the smallest change can have an effect. So some people are like, baseball's not doing it on purpose. It's just, that's the way of the game. It's supply chain, stuff changes. Rawlings can't have the same, cowhide or seams or whatever for every single baseball, and it's just going to keep changing. But I also think that that's a little bit ridiculous with the amount of money in the game, how they can't have it be a little more consistent. So in my opinion, I do think that the MLB at least manipulates the balls or chooses, what they want to do before the season or halfway through. I'm a big believer in it. And I've heard this year that the baseballs are dead. I mean, AJ Pollock literally said on national TV on Sunday Night Baseball saying they're hitting rolled up wet socks. So it's definitely being talked about. You guys are using different balls in them anyways, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm always curious to hear opinions from you guys who are actually playing. I think it's cool. But it's definitely a conspiracy I've had, and people are starting to talk about it. Baseballs, they're different. They're different.
See, they've tried multiple different things, I know, in the past. I mean, what makes them money? Home runs. But right now, both, that's not really, I mean, I don't know the numbers, but are people hitting a lot of home runs this year?
No, home runs are down this year. People are complaining about it.
Yeah, and pitchers are even complaining about it because apparently the balls that they're using, they don't get enough grip on it. And this is where all those pitchers are throwing at heads and there's brawls, but they're like, guys, I don't know where the ball's going. Like, I can't throw it.
You saw the Bassett interview, right? Where he's like, baseball's got a baseball problem. He was talking about how it's ridiculous and they're not doing anything about it. He's saying they've all complained about it and the MLB won't do anything. He was complaining about how they have a lack of control with the balls. But strikeouts are up, home runs are a little bit down, batting averages across the board are down. There's a conspiracy that they think the owners might have had a little hat in the ring, saying they're not trying to pay all these people, $40 million a year. Maybe they're trying to tone down the batting averages, and people think that might be a thing. I'm not sure if I'm willing to go that far, but it's definitely a thought. I think it's pretty crazy. I think it's the most interesting stuff, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, ever since the negotiation deals, baseball is just – it's down right now.
It's weird.
Something's got to change, I think. I
100%.
think the owners need to come together and just – we got to figure something out. We got to bring baseball back. Everyone loves watching baseball. Not 162 games of it, but
are you an advocate for less games?
As a player or as a fan? How are you asking? A player or a fan?
As a player. As a player.
As a player, I don't mind it because I just love being out there.
Right.
But
as a fan, you get it because you're like, wow, that's a lot of games. It's tough to follow unless you're like a baseball junkie like us or whatever. It's tough to track 162 games, which is 100% true.
I just think it makes it that much more special for the playoffs and the World Series. Like, you earned it if you made it there. You know what I mean?
100%. So, and people talk about – go ahead.
But, like, as a fan, I don't even watch – like, I can't even watch more than, like, 2 innings of a baseball game. I'm just like, all right, I'm over it.
You're playing baseball all day, so I totally get it.
That's also –
you don't want to watch baseball.
Yeah, but I wouldn't – I mean, I think for the game, for people to, like, start coming back to, I think, maybe a little reduction in the games.
I think a lot of people talk about how baseball is not as physically tolling as football and basketball. And it's like, okay, yeah, obviously you're not, hit each other. But I think that's the one thing that baseball has where it's like, well, it's the longest season ever. You're playing games 6 out of 7 days out of the week. It's an absolute grind. It's a slow toll on your body, right? You're not going out there hitting people playing football, but you're playing 162 games a year plus the playoffs. If you can stay healthy for that whole time, that's extremely impressive because it's honestly more work than people think. Going out there, running around, doing shit, sliding, diving, getting hit by balls, whatever, you name it. I think that's the one element of baseball that does make a little physically tolling. And like you said, it makes it, matter that much more if you get to the end and win a World Series, right? You're like, wow, we just played 200 games and we're the best team out of all this 200 games. It makes it that much more special,
I mean, yeah, that's why one thing is mentally, it's more mentally draining than any other sport, I believe. 100%. I mean, you gotta be locked in for 162 games. Who said, like, we've gone over with our mental coaches, like, that's almost impossible for a human being to do. Like, you got to train your mind to be locked in for each pitch, and then not locked in for like 5 seconds, and then locked in again for like 9 seconds for the pitch. You know what I mean? And going off like the playoffs thing, like that's why you look at these guys that have won multiple World Series, like the Jeters, Posadas, whoever, David Ortiz, all these guys. Like, that's why people have so much respect for them, like within the game of baseball. So, yeah, it's a long season. It's a very long 100%. Season.
Damn. So they got mental coaches for you guys. They got like almost like not therapists, but like people for you to talk to and stay locked in. They got this.
Yeah, they give
us. To talk to.
Yeah, so they give us little tricks like with your breathing. We do little like drills to be locked in, meditation, all that stuff, visualization. So we go through that. They come by once in a while. They go to every affiliate, so that's nice to see them.
100%.
Yeah, they're very
people
important.
Think you're just going out there swinging hard as shit, trying to hit a home run, but there's so much more to it. I mean, you're doing it right now. It's incredible. I think it's so interesting, the day in the life of what you guys are doing. It's impressive. It's a grind. Austin, I'm impressed, my man. I'm rooting for you. You are killing it. I'm super stoked for you, my dude. You're getting base hits off of Blake Snell. You're hitting walk-off home runs. I'm super stoked. I know you got it in you. You're an absolute grinder. You give me Dustin Pedroia vibes out there. You know, you're not the biggest dude, but you're an absolute grinder, hard worker, and it's paying off. You're having good results. I'm rooting for you, my man. I really appreciate you coming on here and talking baseball. I know everyone in here really appreciates it because everyone in here is obsessed with baseball. Super excited about it, and it's not every day you get to hear the day in the life of an MILB guy, right? I think it's super cool. So I really appreciate you coming on. Get some rest. I wish you the best of luck. Keep me updated, but me and Matt Rob will be following. We've been following you this whole time, and you're killing it, my dude. You're killing it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate you for having me on here. It's pretty cool experience, man.
For sure, my man.
Pretty cool.
Have a good day. Who are you playing today? You got a game today?
Yeah, we're playing the D-backs.
Oh, D-backs. The Snakes, man. Gosh.
Yeah.
They're a tricky team. Are their minor league team decent or no?
They got a decent team. They're young.
Okay.
They got very, very young. So we'll see. It'll be a good series.
All right. Well, take care of business out there. Kick their ass. Go out there, hit another home run. I expect to see it when I check the stat line tonight. All right, my man?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, Austin. I'll catch you soon, my man.
Peace.
All right. That was pretty cool. I don't know if you guys liked that or didn't like it, let me know. I thought that was pretty dope. Just picking his brain for 30 minutes. I mean, I could have done that for 3 freaking hours. That was dope. It's an absolute grind. People don't understand how much of a grind it is. They don't get paid enough. They're working just as hard as the major leaguers, maybe even harder. And kids like that, you got to just absolutely put respect on their names. Awesome to have my guy Austin on there. W's in the chat. I want to see him. That was sick. If you guys want more of that stuff, let me know because we can make it happen. That was sick. All right, now we got to completely pivot here, and we got to talk bets. That's what we're here for. I'm going to bring my guy Javon on. What's up, Javon? How we doing, bro?
Doing pretty good. Did
you get to listen to any of that or not?
Yeah, I did. That was super cool.
Pretty cool.
Day in the life of a minor leaguer, you know?
I'm jealous, dude. Living vicariously through that, dude.
Yeah,
could have been me if I didn't hurt my back. No, no fucking chance. No chance. I didn't even play in college. Gosh, that was awesome. Okay, well, now we've got 25 minutes to absolutely grind and see what's going on with these games today. And I can already tell the chat's pivoting to bets. They're hungry. They're ready to get spoon-fed. Chat, we got you. This card today, Javon, it's tricky. I know you can agree with me here. It's a tricky one. But that's what you got us here for. We're here to spoon feed. Winners only. Okay. Anything crazy happened yesterday besides me having 7 bad beats in all my games? Anything crazy else happened in baseball? What's good?
I don't think so. I mean, I guess you can call, I'd say the Guardians and Orioles are two pretty solid upsets. The world of MLB, I think.
For sure.
Guardians, I think a lot of us that kind of think the same were on. So I was really excited to see, not even a sweat. Orioles, a couple people were on that too. So, good to see how these teams bounce back today. It'll be interesting.
I hope people are starting to notice that you can't just take the Yankees ML in a parlay with another team and expect it to win every day. If you could, we wouldn't be on here streaming talking about bets. I wouldn't be tweeting out my plays. I'd be on an island with 7 women drinking, rum and cokes all day. It's not how it works, guys. It's baseball, especially. Baseball is so inconsistent. Baseball is so random. Any guy can go out there and absolutely shove at any given moment. We saw Reed Detmers throw a no-hitter this year, guys. If you would have told me that Reed Detmers was throwing a no-hitter before the season, I'd laugh in your face. But that's baseball. That's why it's beautiful. That's why we love it, because it's so inconsistent. It's so difficult. It's the hardest sport to bet on. It's the hardest sport to cap. And all we've been doing, Javon, over the last couple of weeks is just giving out winners, giving out good takes. So let's keep our heads on straight and let's keep grinding. Javon, you've been maybe one of the sharpest people I've ever seen with these Prize Picks props. We might have to start incorporating that into these streams a little bit because you've been absolutely killing it. I'm impressed. You're making me sharper and smarter, so I always appreciate having you on here to talk baseball too. But are there any games that we want to get to today? We've got about 20 minutes. I don't want to just go through, the whole card, and I honestly haven't had too much time to dive into these. But are there any plays that stick out to you right now?
Yeah. So, I'm going to talk about this D-backs game partially because there is a Prize Picks that I absolutely love in this game. It is kind of the square play, but I think the D-backs roll today. I'll take the run line.
Zach Gallen.
You're up to. Zach Gallen on the mound. Yeah.
Stud.
It's hard not to take them in the situation. I think they roll. My favorite Prize Picks props. I am shocked that they are offering this today. We never get this, especially in this matchup. I'm not sure why it's up. Dalton Varsho over 0.5 runs and RBI. So this D-backs offense, absolutely rolling. They're top 10 in the league, I believe, in OPS in this last week. A lot of reason for that is because of Varsho. He's leading off. He's starting their offense up. He's been really good. And they got a really plus matchup. Heasley on the mound for the Royals. He's not too good. He doesn't know how to locate pretty much any pitch. If you look at his maps on his Savant page, literally every pitch is over the middle of the plate. And then you look at Varsho, he's got a run or RBI in 5 of his last 6, and 4 of those he has 2 or more. A lot of those he has 3 or 4 of them too. And out of the 40 runs and RBI he has this season, 38 of them against righties. So it's really ridiculous. And if you look at, I know Ballpark Pal, their conditions are really helpful, especially yesterday. They posted a lot of those home runs, and they said, the conditions are really helpful for kind of a home run derby here. The conditions are a little bit of the same today. I expect a lot of runs from the D-backs. I expect Varsho to start off this offense. If you're looking at Gallen props too, those should all be a go. Christian Walker should have a big day too, but the one I'm really, really honing in on is this Varsho over 0.5 runs and RBIs.
Okay. I love that. I love that bet. Do the conditions scare you a little bit with the D-backs? Because if the Royals if they can barrel up a ball with a couple guys on base and that they could get out to a lead, does that scare you? Do the conditions scare you a little bit? Because I watched the game last night. I know I was on the Royals. You were on the D-backs. Good bet, by the way. Great bet. I was seeing balls that I thought were pop-ups leaving the yard 10 rows back. That was insane. That was exciting baseball. I honestly wasn't even that mad. That was great. That was fun to watch. Does that scare you a little bit off of the D-backs? Because I feel like it just makes the game even more random and inconsistent if a guy on the Royals or 2 can barrel up a ball.
No, because I think you look at Gallen on the mound, I trust him to give up a lot less of those than Heasley. Like I said, Heasley, he leaves all of his pitches directly over the plate. Like, again, if you look at his maps, all of the red is over the middle of the plate. So I think he's a lot more prone to that. I think they get out early and often. Varsho, obviously going to be a big part of that. They don't take down the runs and RBI props very often, but I would try and get this one in a little early just in case. So that's what I would do. I made a couple 2-teamers with it, but definitely locking that in.
100%. And yeah, I see the Book It Sports plug in their Prize Picks code. F that. Use mine. Promo code Krabs if you want to deposit match up to $100. Promo Krabs. If we've been giving you winners, use my code. Fuck the Book It code. Use mine. I'm with you though. Zach Gallen he's a stud. But worries me a little bit. Is he a little bit trendy right now? Yeah. Was he trendy last week when I faded him and he went out there and shoved? Yeah. So he might honestly just be that good. He might just be absolutely locked in. And yeah, it is Dane Dunny Day. I'm seeing people in chat Talk about my guy Dane Dunning. We'll get to that. Absolute dog. But yeah, no, I'm with you. Zach Gallen is an absolute stud. He's an absolute stud. He's proved me wrong. Not proved me wrong. I mean, I drafted him in fantasy, super high on him, but last week I did fade him. I was like, he's a little trendy for me. Thought I was kind of getting ahead of the game, kind of like I had with Merrill Kelly recently, fading him and making some money because he's kind of coming back down to earth. But I mean, Zach Gallen has not come down to earth at all. That dude is just absolutely balling. And he's got this Royals lineup that's really not that good. So he might go out there and shove. I don't hate that play at all, Javon. I don't hate that play at all.
I mean, I've been probably one to fade Gallen a couple times this year, and I've lost. So it's not me just kind of hopping back on the train because I've been burned by the guy, but I think it's a super good spot for him today. I don't think he's going to come out and, have the dominant performance that he's had, the last couple of starts out. I mean, he was a little shaky against the Cubs, but I don't think he's going to be that good, but I think this D-backs offense is going to be just that good. I think they have the opportunity to go put up 10 runs today.
100%. 100%. The D-backs just keep they keep proving people wrong. They keep proving me wrong. Snakes bite. I've said it for weeks. I don't know why I don't stop just betting on. I don't know why I don't stop fading them. They dominate. They're good. They're 22 and 22. If I would have told you the D-backs were 22 and 22 at this point in the season, especially looking at their early schedule, they have one of the hardest early schedules in baseball. Are you kidding me? Put some respect on the Snakes, guys. Snakes bite. They bit me hard last night. I might have sneak bet them for a little bit more than I usually do. They bit hard. Snakes bite. They're a good baseball team. Ketel Marte, stud. Varsho, leading off, dog. Zach Gallen, he's a fucking beast. Merrill Kelly, he's pretty good. KBO legend. I love this D-backs team. I'm done fading them. So I'm with you. And first person to you guys are asking why I'm wearing a freaking Redskins jersey right now, or Commanders, whatever their name is. I'm wearing it because there's potential for Dan Schneider to lose the team. People are talking about it. I'll believe it when I see it, though. I'm not getting my hopes up, but I am a little bit really hoping they yank the team from them like a little kid stealing candy from them. I want to watch it. I hope they film it. I want to see that. I want to see that grown man cry because he's ruined my life over the last decade with how terrible this team has been. I want to see him cry. Dan Schneider, if you're listening to this, which you're definitely not, you're the worst. Just give it up. First person to guess whose jersey I'm wearing, I'll Venmo you $20 for lunch today. First person in chat to tell me whose jersey I'm wearing right now.
The GOAT.
Javon, you know who I'm wearing, right?
Oh, I know exactly who you're wearing.
Let's see what they got. Ooh, all right, we got him. That was quick. Lone Star GTV. Okay. Lone Star. He got it. Not Donovan McNabb. You guys are a joke. Gosh. Tressway. Come on. Absolute legend. Best punter in the league. Put some respect. Not Donovan McNabb, guys. Jesus Christ. Lone Star GTV. DM me on Twitter. I'll get back to you today. I got you. $20. I'll Venmo you. Good shit. I'm not wearing a Kerry. Who said Kerry Collins? Give me a break. That's honestly a good name. Cristiano Ronaldo. What are we doing? Okay. Colt Brennan. R.I.P. Colt Brennan. That dude was a Washington legend. Gosh, that's sad. Oh, and R.I.P. Haskins, man. I feel so bad for that dude. Gosh, I don't want to hear any Haskins slander. That dude was obviously going through some stuff. I feel so bad for that dude. I feel so bad for him and his family. He was a good dude. I don't want to hear any shit talking. If I hear anyone shit talk him, I'm going to flip out. So there's going to be no slander in here about Dwayne Haskins. R.I.P. That's all I'm going to say about that. Let's get back to baseball. We've got, Dane Dunning's pitching against the Angels again. Does this dude just pitch against the Angels every week? What's up with this?
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to find a couple reasons why I really want to bet the Rangers today, but I think I'm just going to go with the over, 8.5. Because, I mean, Syndergaard and Dunning are both making the third starts against these lineups. And, I mean,
that's not good for either pitcher. If you guys don't know, the more you face a pitcher, usually the easier it is to read them a little bit, usually.
Yeah, and I mean, Dunning himself, he's a little worse on the road. Syndergaard is significantly better at home. But, I mean, at the end of the day, the guy's been good this year, but he's not producing kind of the same swing and miss stuff that we're used to. His chase rate's down, the swing and miss rate is down.
And you talk about Cindy?
Yeah.
Okay.
All of those are down, and I think, going through his third time in the lineup, it scares you a little bit because, he's significantly better at home. Rangers offense is kind of horrid on the road, but, after seeing both these pitchers for a third time, they should be able to do enough to get 9 runs in this game. Especially these bullpens are good. The Rangers bullpen is surprisingly good if anybody's been paying attention.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think third time through, these guys have got to put some bats to the ball, and I think they'll have a good offensive showing today.
Yeah, is that total a little bit higher than you thought it would be? It's a little bit higher than I thought it would be. 8.5?
No, I think Dane Dunning is still a little undervalued, and when we're looking at a situation where you think it'd be properly priced, a little point down or so, I think that would have to come at home. I think the first time it was 7.5 or 8 at home, this exact matchup, but I think it's priced properly. I just think it goes over.
Okay. And I will say it's moved from 8 to 8.5, and you can get 8.5 at plus money. I would not be surprised to see it settle at 8.5, minus 110 each way. That's probably what it's going to end up doing. And I definitely would not be back in Syndergaard against Dane Dunning. Dane Dunning could go out there and shove. I know he's worse on the road. He's a young guy. He's facing one of the best offenses in baseball. And they've already seen him a bunch. So I don't know if I'm going to end up betting on it, but I'd probably stay away from the Angels minus 160. That looks a little bit trappy to me. That looks a little bit trappy to me.
I can't back Syndergaard at that price, even if it's at home.
Syndergaard, he's proved me wrong. He's been very impressive this season, but he's a ticking time bomb, ready to explode. I'm not hoping for an injury or anything, but I'm not saying he's going to get hurt tonight. But I think he's overperformed already. I've been impressed. I know you said his advanced stats or analytics are not as good as his stats look on the surface, right? But he's impressed me, but he's a ticking time bomb. He could blow up and have a bad start at any moment. It's Syndergaard. He's not the most consistent guy out there. He's got good stuff, and he has impressed me this year. But I'm not backing. I'm not taking the Angels minus 160. I'll tell you that right now. There's no value on that. Value on that.
None. And the one thing that really scares me about Syndergaard, I guess not scares me because I'm bet on the over. I love it. But in that Rangers second start where he got absolutely blown out, and I think he only got one out. He got taken on the first. He gave up like 5 or 6. A lot of the Rangers were dialed in on first and second pitches of their at-bats, which is something when they're locked into a guy and they've seen his arsenal already once and they're ready to swing the bat again. And that led him to, losing control, walked a couple of guys. The Rangers were dialed into him. And I think obviously they're a little worse on the road, but I think they do a little more of the same today.
100%. Gosh, the Rangers do still coin them, my man. Goodness gracious. They giveth and they taketh. We'll take them sometimes as a dog and they look like the Rangers that they were supposed to be, or sometimes we'll take them as a dog and they'll lose by 7. They're a tough cookie, man. They're a tough cookie. They've been disappointing. I think we can all agree that the Rangers have been pretty disappointing this year. We know it's in there. I know they don't have the arms, but goodness gracious, they got to get those bats going. This is absurd. They need some consistency. Yeah, I know Simeon gets off the slow starts, but come on, dude, wake up.
Yeah. They don't have the arms, but their arms have been overperforming. Their bullpen's been good.
Honestly,
mentioned Team Perez. Like, where's the stuff from that guy came from? He's AARP qualified, and he's out here throwing 7 scoreless every time he comes out. It's ridiculous.
100%. And if this dude keeps talking about Haskins, he's about to get banned from all bucket streams. So be tied. Chill the fuck out. We're not doing this right now. We're talking baseball. I want to talk about the Nats game. I think the Nats can win today for a couple reasons. Josiah Gray looked very good in his last stat. I know you're laughing because this is ridiculous. I know.
Oh, but no, I'm kind of
okay. Word. This is a revenge game. This is a revenge game for Josiah Gray. This is a revenge game for Keibert Ruiz. Juan Soto looked like a buffoon out there on the field yesterday. If you don't think he's coming in there today hungry as shit, wanted to beat this Dodgers team that took his boy Trey Turner and Max Scherzer away from him, you are crazy and you are wrong, because an angry Soto is not someone I want to bet against. I'll tell you that right now. Don't be surprised if you see a Soto tank off of Bueller today. And I know that's not the hottest take ever. He's one of the best hitters in baseball. But I will say he has not been having the greatest season so far. He's the worst rated right fielder right now in baseball. They need to put him back in left field. I don't know why we moved him. It's not like we have a left fielder of the future right now. Let's move him back to left. This is ridiculous. The dude's a stud in left field, and we put him in right field. He stinks. I'm not really surprised. Move him back to left. It's not like we have freaking Bryce Harper in left field or something like that, although he plays right field, whatever. But move him back to left field. It's Juan Soto. Let him do whatever he wants. I think there's some serious value on the Nats plus 200 today. 2-1 against the Dodgers in a revenge spot. Bueller has looked a little bit inconsistent. He's looked a little wild. If the Nats can get a couple runs off of him, they're going to be hungrier to win this game today. I love the Nats plus 200 today. I'll be on it.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning that way. I don't know if I'm going to end up taking it, but if I'm not mistaken, I think there's been some line movement in the Nationals' favor too, and obviously the money's not on them. But
insane line movement.
Yeah.
So the line, I need to lock this in ASAP. And I don't know if I want to take +1.5 or take money line. I probably should just take money line because they're either going to win or lose by 10. Yeah. The line's moved from -250 down to -215 for the Dodgers. But what's weird is that 70% of the handle is on the Dodgers, which is honestly less than I thought. I thought it was about to be like 90% today. But 80% of the bets coming in the Dodgers early. There's only going to be more bets on the Dodgers throughout the day. Nobody's betting the Nats today. The line's moving the other direction. It tells you everything you need to know. The Nats is the play. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I love the Nats today at a 2-1 value. You can't take. Please don't take the Dodgers, guys. -1.5 today. It's chalky. It's trappy. It scares me. Don't love that bet. I love the matchup for the Nats today. Josiah Gray pitching against his old team. The ball's in his court, literally. The ball's going to be in his hands. It's up to him. If he goes out there and shoves, he goes out there and shoves. That's why baseball is so crazy. Any given Sunday, just like they say in football, it's the same thing for baseball, but every day. It's literally anything could happen any day. Josiah Gray could go out there and throw a gem against his old team, and they could get a win. I love the Nats today at +200. Revenge spot for Ruiz, who's been raking the ball, one of the most underrated catchers in baseball. And Josiah Gray's been pitching better. So I'm willing to back him. I'll be on the Nats today for sure. Yeah. For sure.
I'm probably going to end up being with you. I think for a lot of people that may be scared of taking the Nationals, I think the team total over 3 is a little disrespectful because I think this is kind of priced at the Bueller that we're all accustomed to when he's just not that guy this year. I mean, he's his fastball rate, I saw this a little earlier, I think on Action Network, his fastball K rate has dropped 13% from last year, and it's getting hit at a 365 batting average. I mean, he's simply not the same guy that we are accustomed to seeing game in and game out. And I think regardless of how this game shakes out, the Nats are going to score runs. I wouldn't mind an over in this situation here either, but the Nats are scoring runs today. And I kind of agree with you. I think they're going to win this game.
What are the odds for that over under 3 team total?
-115 FanDuel.
Word. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, and all revenge game stuff aside, all, Dodgers, Nats bullshit aside, because there's been a lot of Nats, Dodgers BS over the last couple of years with Trey and Max going to the LA. That was heartbreaking for all Nats fans and Nats players. And now we got the 2 prospects that we traded for playing against them. All that stuff aside, the Nats lost 10-1 yesterday. They're going to be hungrier coming in today to get a win at home. They got embarrassed yesterday. They didn't look like they did want to be there. I hope to God Dave Martinez said something in that clubhouse, because that guy stinks. I don't even know if he would have. He's one of the worst managers I've ever seen. I don't care if he won a World Series. He's a terrible manager. I'll say it right now. He's gone off for the season. But I'll tell you right now, any team that loses 10-1 is coming in hungry or ready to win the next day. Any team. I love this bet for that case. I love this bet for the revenge play. I love this bet for the value on Josiah Gray, who looked great in his last start. I love this value because Juan Soto is going to have to make up for his terrible performance yesterday. I love this bet because of the line movement. I love this bet because of the line. I love this bet just in general. I love this. I love the Nats play. I know I'm a Nats fan. You guys know I am, but Javon can agree with this one. It's the right side tonight. It's the right side tonight.
Yeah. And I think you're like me with the Rays too. I think we're pretty constantly betting on our teams, but there's only a handful of times where we kind of pitch it and give it confidently as like a kind of ride with me play. And
100%. That's
when you really know.
This is one. And guys, don't put your rent. First of all, never put your rent on a bet ever. Don't max out 5U whale the Nats money line today. One unit doesn't hurt, right? And guys, I might be on the +1.5 too. I haven't decided yet, so don't lock it in yet. Stay posted. But I'm probably going to be on the Nats money line. I think the hungrier dog runs faster. The Nats feel disrespected by the Dodgers organization personally and by losing 10-1 last night. It's very hard to find emotional plays in baseball, and this is one of them. I'm stoked for the game tonight. If my men's league softball game gets canceled, which it probably is, I might end up in DC for the game. We'll have to see. That way I can see my bet lose in person. But guys, you should feel uncomfortable when you place a bet. The greatest gambler of all time, Stu Feiner, said, when you place a bet, you should feel uncomfortable. That's how you know it's the right side. If you place a bet and feel comfortable, you're taking the bet the book wants you to take. whether that's Dodgers run line or Yankees money line, whatever it is, you never want to feel comfortable. You never want to feel like a bet's free. If you feel comfortable and you think a bet's free when you place it, doesn't mean it's not going to hit, but you're on the wrong side. You're right where the book wants you. They got you wrapped around their finger. Keep that in mind the next time you place a bet. You should feel, I'm not saying place a plus 300 bet just because it's plus 300. Do your research, but you should feel a little uncomfortable when you place a bet because you got the book. You got the only advantage you could get. You don't want to just take Yankees money line or Dodgers run line every day. That's not how you win money. You got to feel uncomfortable when you place a bet. It's the only way to win. It's the only way to win. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Nats money line. We're taking it.
Damn right.
No run line. I think the Nats either win today or they lose by 5. The 1.5 is not going to do shit.
I never touch the run line when it comes to either of the two LA teams because they either win in a blowout or they lose, especially the Angels. But yeah.
Word. Are there any other, before we go, I know we have like a minute, any other bets you really like today or any other prize picks or anything you wanted to tell the people? Guys, if you're not hip to Javon, first of all, follow him on Twitter. His Twitter's in his little thing on the picture on the screen. He's been sharp as a fucking tack with the prize picks, with the bets. This dude knows more about baseball than I do. I'm willing to say it, and I know my shit. So if you don't follow him right now. It's worth a follow. He knows his stuff. Javon, any other thing you want to say before we hop off?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go that far to say I know more about baseball. But I think the one bet that the two bets that you could feel pretty comfortable in taking today, it's probably the square sides that I think do hit. D-backs run line and Astros run line. Those are my two that I think those are where the public's going to eat today. I love Framber in the bounce back spot. Plezak's been atrocious. I already talked about, Zach Gallen and the D-backs too. So those are the two sides I think the public eats today. Like I said earlier too, get your prize picks entries in with Dalton Varsho over half runs and RBI. Like I said, they don't usually take those down, but I'm putting it in just in case early. But those are what I love.
100%. What are you pairing it with? Do you know yet or no?
So I threw one with LeMahieu over runs and RBIs, but I am not 100% that he's in the lineup or going to be in the lineup today. But yeah, I'll be probably putting it in a couple things over the course of the day as long as it's up.
Word. And someone asked if I can explain what the handle is. So the handle is the percent of all the money on a side. So there's bet percentage and then there's money percentage. Money percentage and handle are the same thing. So bet percentage, let's say there's 60% of the bets on the Nats, 40% on the Dodgers. And that's not the case, by the way. But that means that 60% of the bets coming in are on the Nats, and it has nothing to do with how big the bets are. Money percentage takes in just the accumulated amount of money on each side, and that's what I look at more. But also, if there's a discrepancy between bet percentage and handle percentage, like let's say there's like today. Let me actually use the Nats as an example right now because it's a good example. Let me pull it up. The Nats are getting 20% of the bets, but 33% of the handle. That means bigger bets are coming in on the Nats, and usually bigger bets mean smarter bets. Not every time, but that's what the handle is. If you guys are wondering, I know we got to close this out. Guys, thanks for coming. Let me get some W's in chat before we go. Going to pass it off to Trent, the OG. He's going to take us home. We're smacking a parlay today. No funny business. If you're coming on stream, one pick, one winner. We're hitting a parlay. W's in the chat. Going to pass it off to the GOAT, Javon. Thanks for coming, brother. We'll sync up again tomorrow. You're the man. Trent, take us home, bro. Take us home. We need a parlay.